The palace seemed deceptively calm that day, but for Mao Mao, the air carried the weight of unspoken tension. Rumors had begun to circulate, whispers exchanged between eunuchs and court ladies, all carefully masked beneath polite smiles. The emperor's consorts were walking on eggshells, each fearing the slightest misstep could bring disaster. Now Mao, sharp-eyed as always, noticed the subtle shifts in behavior. Servants who once gossiped freely now lowered their voices when passing certain halls. Courtiers lingered too long near corners as if listening for secrets. Even the kitchens buzzed with uneasy strange ingredients requested. Dishes changed without explanation. What caught her attention most, however, was the embroidery. A simple cloth passed around like an innocent trinket, but Mao Mao recognized the thread. It was dyed with a plant that should not have been accessible within the palace. Why would someone smuggle in such material? She wondered, her mind already racing with possibilities. She kept her expression blank, careful not to reveal her thoughts, even as Jinshi appeared by her side. His radiant presence drew attention wherever he went, but Mao Mao had long since learned to read the shadows behind his charm. He asked her almost casually whether she had noticed anything unusual among the consorts. Her lips curved into a faint smile. Unusual? This entire palace is unusual, she answered, but inside her mind, she was cataloging every detail, the threads, the movements, the subtle hints of fear. Jinshi studied her carefully, but before he could press further, a messenger arrived with urgent news. One of the higher-ranked ladies had collapsed during a banquet rehearsal. Panic spread quickly, but Mao's steps were calm, steady. She already suspected poison or perhaps something even more intricate. As she examined the fainting consort, her hands moved with practiced precision, checking pulse, breathing, and the faint scent of her lips. A trace of bitterness lingered there. Not enough to kill, just enough to weaken. Her suspicion deepened. This was not a random act. Someone was testing boundaries, probing to see what they could get away with. And in the palace, such games often ended with blood. Yet Mao kept her voice even, her words measured. She will recover, she said softly, though her mind whispered otherwise. The palace was no longer merely a place of intrigue, it was a battlefield hidden beneath silken curtains. And Mao Mao, whether she wished it or not, stood at its very center.